Hi, it's Claire Yosa here from the EUVAT Action Campaign team, and I want to give you an update on what is happening with physical goods with regards to the new EUVAT rules and VATMOSS in 2016. There's a lot of discussion going on Facebook and Twitter, a lot of myths and a lot of misunderstanding being spread around, which is understandable. So I'd like to share with you the facts. My sources for the information I'm going to share with you are: I was present at the Fiscalis Summit in September in Dublin, where the EU Commission presented its upcoming VAT strategy, which is where this was discussed and announced. Also, meetings at the Cabinet Minister level in the UK last month. Also, we had a personal meeting with the EU Commission where we discussed this in October, and also our consultative status with HMRC. So these are good hard facts I'm about to give you. Now, the EU's strategy is that they want to bring the VATMOSS system in to cover physical goods as well as digital goods. What that would mean is if you export, you will no longer have to register for VAT in 27 other member states. You would be able to have a VATMOSS system you could use instead. Now, this is easier than with digital because if you're shipping something, you know where your customer is. So that's not so terrible. The bit you need to be aware of: the legislation that will be proposed next year, which means it's going to take a couple of years to discuss and implement. It's also looking at removing small value consignment relief and the cross-border distance selling thresholds. At the moment, it's all very up in the air, and this needs to be unanimously passed. Tax law in the EU needs to be agreed by all 28 member states. So what we're encouraging you to do is get in touch with your tax office to find out what they want from this legislation and what they're going to be negotiating. Moving the VATMOSS system to cover digital goods is a good thing. Losing small value consignment relief and distance selling thresholds could hugely hurt many thousands of businesses. You need to make your voice heard, and one of the best ways to do this as well is through any membership bodies you're part of, whether they're people who regulate your industry or people who represent your views and lobby. Please go and get informed, and also come and find us at EUVAT Action here on Facebook for the latest. The thing that's we're really pleased about that we found out last month is at the moment, and we had this straight from the EU Commission, people who are going to be drafting this legislation. At the moment, the digital services that have human intervention are outside of these proposals and will remain so. So if you're doing live webinars, or if you're selling, say, online training that's got a very strong integral human aspect, that at the moment will not be covered by these rules. I had a meeting with Treasury just at the end of October, and they are promising to keep negotiating so that remains the case. However, we need you all to keep the pressure on so that nobody loses this in translation. All 28 member states are going to be debating and discussing these rules. So whilst that's really good news, we also need to keep the pressure on our finance ministers to make sure that they don't accidentally sacrifice that for some other cherry that they'd prefer. So that's what's happening. The legislation is being proposed next year. Go and get yourself informed when it's proposed. It's not likely to be until the end of next year. And it's going to be proposed at about the same time as the potential threshold that's been offered. So talk to your accountants, talk to your finance ministers, talk to your treasury teams, talk to whoever your tax office is, whoever represents your business in your country, to get informed so you get to see that legislation and get to make your voice heard during the discussion phase. That is what's happening. VATMOSS is not coming onto digital goods on the 1st of January, but if you don't want it to, you need to be taking action now. I hope that helps. Please stay in touch. EUVAT Action over at Facebook.